to keep it cool.
Hello, and welcome to the CinemATL podcast for August 2017. The CinemATL podcast is a monthly podcast that examines the world of entertainment through the lens of Atlanta filmmakers.
That's us.
That's us. I'm one of your hosts, Michael D. Friedman.
I'm your other host, Martin Kelly.
And we're back after a couple months of a hiatus.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
We hadn't been around since maybe the last podcast was April.
Whoa, really?
The time that we actually
my
had
gosh. Wow.
You might have heard the missing tapes.
The missing tapes.
But the last official Atlanta CinemATL podcast was actually in April. So we're glad to be back.
Yeah, definitely.
We're going to get back on schedule.
Mm-hmm.
That's out of the way.
Yes.
We've moved.
It was interesting.
On.
It was an interesting exploration. And we'll see where that goes.
And in case you're wondering, we're going to be tight-lipped about it, but we filmed a TV pilot, but
right.
Things didn't quite coalesce the way we wanted them to.
Exactly.
So we just figured, hey, let's get back to the podcast.
That's right.
We've been way too long. We want to be back. We want to be talking to y'all.
And we're still recording it, but sort of primitively. So.
Yeah, well, we're just looking at it as, hey, you guys want to watch us do our podcast? We're here for you on YouTube. If you want to listen, we're on SoundCloud,
exactly.
We're on
iTunes.
And of course, we're on the CinemATL.com website.
Absolutely. So, and speaking of,
yes,
a renaissance of late of content.
Yes. So one of the things that this hiatus helped with is actually giving us a little bit more focus on bringing CinemATL.com back to life, if you will.
Oh, definitely. And you've been instrumental in that. You've done some great things.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate that. But for a while, it's just been hosting the podcast and hosting Atlanta Film Chat. Mm-hmm. Nothing else much going on.
Yeah, every now and then we do an article, but yeah.
But I'm trying to give us some more content, and that actually begins with you guys. So if you have anything that you're working on, please let us know, because we will feature it on CinemATL, whether we mention it in our podcast
or we'll do an article,
or do an article on it. We're trying to bring more about the local film industry to you guys.
So if you're a local filmmaker and you haven't told us about your project, that's on you.
Yes.
It's on you. Okay?
But so I've started a couple regular columns on CinemATL. I encourage you to go check it out if you haven't.
Yeah, it was like one of the ones that we translated from the podcast to the site is our top three.
And I've actually started 3 regular columns, and I'm calling it 3, 4, 5 because it just so happened out this way that we're doing a weekly top 3, which we started on the podcast. We're actually writing them out now. On the weeks that we have a podcast, we probably won't post a top 3 article.
Because you get to hear our top 3 on the podcast.
Because you get to hear it here. But we take a look at whatever the big movie is that week, and we come up with a top 3 list accordingly. The Dark Tower was out. We did top 3 Stephen King movies. So I encourage you to go check that out. But of the 3, 4, 5, the next one is 4 Good Things, which is a little video blog, if you will, a vlog.
Yeah.
And what I host, and I basically name 4 good things about a movie that I've seen.
Any movie? Any
movie. I have actually done 4 good things about Transformers last night. I've done 4 good things about the Emoji Movie. As my mama told me, if you can't say nothing nice, don't say anything at all.
Did your mama really tell you that?
Well, not
that's a saying,
not like a
obviously.
Southern version of it, like I just said, but she did,
All right,
so,
I got you.
So I try to point out the good things. Sometimes they're kind of backhanded compliments, but I try to put the 4 good things out there.
You know what? I think that's good. In this day and age, there's enough negativity.
So much negative energy going out there. Let's do something positive. Even if it's a little backhanded compliment, at least I'm trying to find some good in it.
Sure.
And the good thing about them, I try to get the 4 things into 2 minutes. The whole vlog is about 3 minutes long.
Yeah, I was going to say. Because they don't technically...
They're short. You don't have to spend a lot of time watching them, and they're just fun to do. And then the last thing last regular column that I've started is 5 questions with, and we've already done 2 so far. One with Alex Collins, a local actor here in Atlanta, and then one with Dave Watkins, who we've both worked with heavily.
Filmmaker, actor,
AD. And then I've got 3 more in the hopper.
Nice.
Ready to go. And I'm going to reach out to some more Atlanta filmmakers.
So I think you've thrown the gauntlet down, because I plan to do some content like you're doing, and so that means I'm going to have to go 6. I'm going to have to go 6 and 7 or
maybe
something.
1 and 2.
Maybe that's what I can do. I can do like one thought.
We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
One thought.
One thought from Martin Kelly. But yeah, and then we're just trying to get the word out there for all indie filmmakers in Atlanta. Even if it doesn't fit into one of those categories. I was contacted by a local filmmaker through our Twitter account, CinemATL, which if you've noticed, if you're following Twitter, CinemATL Twitter account is now much more active.
That's where you see the most activity.
So I finally have access to it. We didn't have access to it for a while. We lost the password or something like that. But now it's really active. I post at least
5 times a day.
5 times a day. I try to get stuff out there. But anyway, one of the indie filmmakers in Atlanta, Jacob Vinus, actually contacted me through CinemATL and said, "Hey, I've got this film called Maggie's Farm out there.
And it came out on Amazon.
Out on Amazon and iTunes." And he's like, "Hey, what can you do for me?" And I was like, "Hey, well, why don't we do an article on it?" So if you go to cinematl.com, you can read the indie spotlight on Maggie's Farm
and watch the trailer.
Yeah, watch the trailer, and links to watch it if you're so inclined. But that should encourage you as a local Atlanta filmmaker to get in contact with us.
Yes,
and the best way you can do that is, for me now, is through the CinemATL Twitter account at CinemATL.
Right.
You can direct message me through there, and we'll get back to you. Share your email address, or I'll get back to you via Twitter. And then Martin, you've got your own personal account.
Sure. My Twitter, is Marte_real1, and it's also my IG account. So
IG. Instagram.
Right? Yeah, we call it. We
shorten
it up.
I'm not cool with the hip kids to know that that's what it's called.
That's now. IG, baby.
IG. I'm at Badger33 if you want to reach my personal Twitter and my IG.
That's right. You got IG too.
I don't really use IG as much, but I'm too busy tweeting on CinemATL. So.
You do. You make up for it, and so that's really cool.
And we'd love for you guys to comment on what you hear. On Twitter, on Facebook, the CinemATL Facebook page, you might notice is a little bit more active than it was as well, or on CinemATL.com.
No, absolutely.
And we very much encourage you to retweet
and share,
because that's how our audience is going to grow.
Yeah, and that's how your audience is going to grow, local filmmakers. Yeah. So,
So scratch our back, we'll scratch your.
We'll scratch everything.
And I don't know about everything.
Okay, we'll scratch many places.
I'll scratch your back. That's it. I'm not going anywhere else.
Look, I'm not opposed to forearm scratching. Other things maybe.
Yeah. So anyway, for those of you that haven't been on with us before on the podcast, it's been a while, so you might not know the format. Each month we do kind of the same format every time. We start out with some industry news where we talk about what's going on in Atlanta and elsewhere. And then we do
a top 3.
Top 3, which is what the article grew out of.
Right.
And top 3 is normally related to our big movie review, which we do afterwards.
Right.
This month, we're trying to catch up to this. We're not doing a big movie review.
We've missed a lot of movies, so we're going to talk about movies over the summer.
Summer movie review. But our top 3, before that, we're going to talk about the movies that we're ready to see coming up in the fall and the winter. So that's industry news, top 3, in-depth review, big movie review.
Right.
And then we normally do a technique topic.
But we got so many movies to talk about. I don't think we're going to have time to have a technique topic today. But, normally we do have a technique topic, and it usually relates to the big movie that we're reviewing each time.
And we usually have a guest as well. And that normally lends us to the technique topic.
Right.
Where we talk to our guests.
Because we bring in an expert in the field usually.
And so this time we're going to spare you the technique topic, although
it's one of our favorite things.
We're not actually sparing you from it. We're letting you down a little bit.
Yeah, I know. It's a little bit of a letdown.
But just stick with us because it's still going to be a fun podcast.
Absolutely.
And then we always wrap it up with the movie game, and we'll explain that at the end.
Yeah.
And
the movie game's very
I'm actually the reigning champ from the Lost tapes, but
wow,
there was actually a error in that game. So
yeah,
we're going to start with a fresh
okay.
slate.
So we're back
to even.
Back to even. Okay. Back to even.
Actually, no. We don't have a returning champion.
Okay.
I'll just say that Martin's actually kicks my ass on a regular basis.
So cool. So let's get right into industry news then.
Why don't we do that?
So I want to talk first about this one because our last guest, the one who the person who did a pilot with us, Candace Mabry, she's actually in this project, and it's called Manhunt Unabomber on Discovery Channel.
Yes.
And I've been seeing the promos for this, and it looks really fascinating.
Yes, it premiered 2 weeks ago, I think, maybe 3. But yeah, it's also got Paul Bettany plays the Unabomber in it, and it's Discovery Channel's really
first big
second
of
scripted
narrative
show.
What was the first one?
They did the Harley Davidson.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
But this is their big foray into scripted television. So look for that. Look for Candace. She's in a couple of the shows. And there's actually a lot of other local people in it too.
Yeah.
If you follow the Twitter account, I listed some of them. I didn't remember them off the top of my head.
Oh yeah. I'm blanking.
Yeah,
at the moment.
But another thing that's out there right now that you can watch right now is Ozark, which is on Netflix. It stars Jason Bateman and was filmed in and around the Lake Allatoona and Lake Lanier areas, I believe. And it was just recently picked up for a second season.
Nice.
Hopefully they're coming back here to film it, but you never know. But it's nice that they picked it up for a second season.
Yeah, it is good, and I know there's a lot of local talent in that. Adam Boyer, for instance, plays one of the characters in there. I've heard. I haven't seen it as one of the things I want to catch up to, but I've heard it's really good.
Yeah. And then another thing that's out there right now that hopefully maybe you can still catch it in the theater is Baby Driver.
Absolutely.
Which I love.
I love it too.
It's a movie about Atlanta.
Set in Atlanta, about Atlanta.
It just passed $100 million at the box office.
That's great. That's awesome. I mean, I'm really happy for Edgar Wright because he's so kind of underrated as a filmmaker.
He's such
as successful as he is, he's still underrated because he's one of the best, actually.
And I think this is his first one to go, but definitely in the U.S. is the first one to go over 100 million. So good for him.
Yeah.
And if you want to check it out, he did a 4 Good Things review on Baby Driver as well. So I'm just plugging myself.
That one you could have went 40 good things.
I could have said tons of good things with that one. So that's the stuff that's out now. What about the stuff that's filming?
Well, I know, and we talk about it every time we name some kind of Marvel movie, but this is the big Marvel movie, right? This is the Avengers.
The Avengers. Avengers Infinity War wrapped, but they're moving on to Avengers 4, which is the sequel to it. And it seems like we've been talking about Marvel movies since we started this podcast.
No, exactly.
So, and there's another one that's being filmed here while that's going on as well, is the Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy how many are going on, but Avengers is still big.
Yeah.
Still big.
And there's another new project that's coming out on Netflix. We talked about this before. Step Up series is coming out, and it's actually called Step Up High Water, which I
have you seen the trailer for?
I haven't seen the trailer yet. Is there a trailer for it?
No, I mean I thought there may be one because should be coming fairly soon.
Yeah,
but
I have not seen it, but I do know that they've been hiring dancers and stuff like that. I see casting calls for it continuously.
I wonder if Channing Tatum will make an appearance. I think he's one of the producers.
He's a producer on
he's
it,
still one of the producers.
So. Maybe he will. There's some other TV shows that are going on. Some newer ones to Atlanta are Dynasty, the reboot on CW.
When I was a little kid, I used to like Dynasty for some reason. Well, maybe Heather Locklear had something to do with it. I don't know.
I was never into Dynasty.
And Joan Collins, she was a great villain.
I was more of a Falcon Crest fan. I never watched any of those primetime soaps, but it's one of the big things that CW's counting on to try to, move away a little bit from all the superhero stuff that they're doing.
I mean, is that waning for them, or why would they want to move away from it?
Trying to diversify because they used to be a very female-centric network,
absolutely.
And now it's become all superheroes,
right?
Which still has a very female skew to it. but I think they're trying to re-engage. So they had the Riverdale reboot last season, and now they're doing it.
I never finished that, but I liked what I saw. I saw about 5 or 6 episodes. Which
I didn't see it, but my wife enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I liked what I saw, but I just couldn't keep up with it.
But yeah, so there's also, there's another new show that actually it filmed its pilot in Dallas, but it's speaking of CW, and this is not a CW show; it's a Fox show. It's a superhero show. It's called The Gifted, and it's an X-Men tie-in.
Right? Yeah, that's part of the X-Men universe, right?
Yep, and it's about a group of young mutants that are on the run from a government agency.
And now they moved that to here?
It's now shooting in Atlanta.
Oh, nice.
It was pilot was shot in Dallas, now it's moving here.
Cool.
And
so
then
more comic book stuff.
More comic, which I think Black Lightning is going to be shooting here.
Oh man!
So,
wow.
But I just heard that through reading other, kind of on the side of things. So I don't know how definitive that is.
That's crazy. I mean, it's just comic book town now.
Well, it's just TV town, honestly.
That's true.
I think there's still other shows that are coming back for new seasons of the originals, MacGyver, Star. All those are back.
Yep.
I mean, there's more. There's way more out there. There's like over 50 productions going on right now in Atlanta.
Don't I know it? I mean, it's tough. It's tough to get like indie crew now because everyone's working. Everyone's working on something.
Well, yeah. Well, do you want to plug what you're working on?
Well, if you want. I mean, I was going to stay away from it.
I just need a drink of water. So
okay, so I'll talk now. So I'm about to go into production next week, actually. It's a film called Full Count, tentatively titled Full Count. It's a faith-based film, independent. It's going to star Jason London, Natalia Livingston, and some more people. We're still working on the cast, but also a lot of great local actors will be part of it as well. E. Roger Mitchell. So it's a film. Again, faith-based film. I don't want to give away too much of the plot. Baseball involved, and we've cast a real baseball player who happens to be a talented actor as well. So cool. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting.
And you're producing it. Basically.
I'm producing it, written and directed by Robert Eager, and of course my Real One team is aboard as producers: Eddie Singleton, Benny Swent, and Jamie Wingler, and we have Joth Riggs, who's producer on the project as well. He's been a producer and a AD on a lot of faith-based projects.
Cool. Looking forward to that. And there's some other movies that you're competing for crew with that are also shooting in Atlanta. We went through all the TV shows. We didn't get a chance to talk about some more of the movies. One of them is called Night School. It stars Kevin Hart, who seems to live in Atlanta now.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, it's about a group of troublemakers who have to go to night school and attempt to get their GED.
You know what this sounds like, but it's probably going to be better than. You remember the movie Summer School?
Yes, I was going to say that. I actually like Summer School.
I like Summer School, but I'm saying that
it's not that great.
Kevin Hart is funnier than
Mark Harmon.
Mark Harmon. So.
One thing about Night School is actually Will Packer is producing it.
Right. He was very successful, obviously, with Girls Trip recently.
Yes.
And, of course, from Atlanta originally. I mean, not from Atlanta originally, but made his bones here, made his career here, yeah.
In fact, the very first issue of CinemATL, when we launched way back when, featured Will Packer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then there's another film, I don't know much about it, but Jennifer Aniston is doing a film called Dumplin'.
No, I like this. This is Jennifer Aniston doing indie, and she does well with those. I mean, a lot of people don't give her credit for doing nice indie work, but this one sounds like another quirky indie film about a former beauty pageant queen who now runs the local pageant.
So those are just a couple of the films that are going on right now, and then ton of TVs going on, and like I said, over 50 productions.
The only TV that's not going on is the CinemATL show.
Oh, sweet burn on us. Self burn.
We can.
We're so emo. We like to burn ourselves.
We can kid ourselves. You can't.
But if you're interested in working on any of these projects, encourage you to go to the Help Wanted hotline
at
on
Georgia.org.
Georgia.org. If you go to I believe the entertainment section, you can you
film,
have to drill down into.
Yeah,
it's
you
pretty
go to
easy to find.
film and entertainment section, and then they have a help wanted hotline, and they give you leads on productions that are crewing up, or productions that need extras, productions that need this or that. So, and some of them are really big ones, some of them are medium-sized ones, and some of them are small. But that's a lot going on right now.
Yeah, so plenty of work out there, which is good all around.
Absolutely.
So in other news, I mean, we got so much going on locally. There's one big thing that I've noticed recently in the news is Netflix has been in the news a lot. Not only so one of the things is that you brought this up in a previous podcast about how they're talking about moving productions to LA. But they announced that they're going to shoot 3 new series in Atlanta. So they're obviously not moving away from Atlanta anytime soon.
Obviously, I was very effective in my takedown.
So everybody congratulate Martin on defeating Netflix and bringing it here. But the bigger news is, it's not necessarily bigger news, but this is probably, it will change things a lot, is that Disney's announced that they're going to take all their stuff that was on Netflix and start their own streaming service.
Wow.
Which really kind of dilutes the Netflix brand, so you got to wonder what's going to happen to that. And then on the heels of that, there was an announcement that Shonda Rhimes,
who's big time ABC,
is now leaving ABC and joining Netflix and to develop shows for Netflix.
No, that's
so this could be a whole shake-up thing going on within.
Well, I like it in a lot of ways. Shonda, is probably going to get even more creative freedom on Netflix than she has, because she's brilliant. TV creator, obviously, very successful.
Yeah.
But now she's going to get even more creative freedom, so those shows might be even more interesting than the ones she's got on ABC.
For those that don't know, her shows are like Scandal,
Grey's Anatomy, How to Get Away with Murder. A lot of really good shows. But the other thing, and this is more excitement as an indie filmmaker, is that if they lose some of that TV content, maybe they'll make a little bit of room for narrative films, because that's one of the things that I don't like about Netflix right now is almost everything when you turn it on is all television content.
Yeah.
And I'd rather see more movies.
Yeah, they've really focused on creating TV content, but I have heard that they have a renewed focus on film. So they're going to be doing more film. So a lot of people, though, I know a lot of filmmakers have kind of an issue with Netflix and the way they release their films and how they just kind of throw it out there, see if it sticks.
Absolutely.
They don't really put a whole lot of marketing behind a lot of films. Although the new Will Smith movie is going to get a lot of play, I believe.
They're going to have to.
I think that might be the start of them trying to ramp up a little bit more on that. But,
I think that's something that they need to do if they want to compete with, movies.
Yeah.
So they need to advertise, and make the people who are making these big movies feel like they're doing the right thing by going to Netflix.
But this also reminds me of kind of like the NFL coaching carousel that happens every year, and I'm wondering how much shakeup this is going to have. Now that ABC has lost Shonda Rhimes, are they going to try to poach somebody from NBC?
Probably.
Is NBC going to try to poach somebody? So
we're available, right?
Yeah. ABC, if you want to.
Yeah, if you don't want to get on that carousel ride, ABC. Talk to us.
Just bring in some new talent.
We can get together a good crew of writers.
All right. Well, that was a lot of industry news.
Right.
And, unless you have anything else.
No, I think that. I mean, there is one thing, and I don't know. I don't know enough about it. There's another thing about Netflix that came out. I don't know if you read that. About the debt.
No. That they're in serious debt.
Yeah.
That they've been borrowing a lot of money to produce this stuff and not really. It's part of their strategy, though, is what I've heard. Is just kind of. Okay. I mean, I don't know enough about financial stuff.
But that seems like an awful lot to take on.
Yeah.
I mean, it was surprising when I heard about how much debt they were taking on. So.
I don't know the details. I did read, a little blurb about it, so I don't really know enough either to talk about it. But maybe if you guys follow CinemATL on Twitter, I'll post something about it when I find out, or you can let us know.
Let us know what you know about it.
Yeah. Help us help you.
That's right. Help us help everyone.
All right. All right, enough of industry news.
Yes.
Let's move on to the top 3.
Yes.
So we're going to do top 3 a little bit kind of different this month. We're going to do the top 3 movies that we're looking forward to.
Okay.
Normally we talk about stuff that we've seen. This is more about, since we're going to get into our big recap of the summer movies, we're going to look ahead before we look back.
No, that sounds perfect.
And since I know that Star Wars The Last Jedi would be your number 1,
Sure.
it would be my number 1.
Sure.
We do a special of it every year for Star Wars. We both love Star Wars. We're just going to eliminate that from our list.
No, I think that's fair.
Right?
That makes it fair for everyone else.
It does. It does make it fair for everyone else. So, how do we want to do this? Do we want to just we want to start at the bottom, name our top 3?
Yeah, you want to do
threes, and then, or do we want to name them all at once?
Well, we usually when we have a guest, we usually do all at once.
Well, I think it might be.
But now
better
it's probably
there's 2 of us to just build.
Yeah,
up.
exactly.
So let's name our number 3s first.
Okay.
We'll talk about it a little bit. Here we go.
Okay, so let me go first.
Okay, I will let you go first.
All right. So my number 3 that I'm looking forward to is Suburbicon.
Suburbicon.
And this is a film starring Matt Damon, directed by George Clooney, and I think written by the Coen brothers.
Oh, yes, I have heard about this.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a movie that the Coen brothers wanted to do, but they couldn't get the funding for it. And then George Clooney said, "What if I take a stab at it?"
Yeah,
right?
and George Clooney has worked with the Coen brothers so much that I think his sensibility is a great match for them. Of course, he's an accomplished director in his own right, but I really think that this one is going to be a fun movie. It looks. Yeah. I mean, I've seen the trailer. Have you
I haven't seen the trailer at all. I don't really know anything
about it. The trailer
about
is very cool.
But you got me hooked when you say Coen brothers and Clooney together. I like them both. You happen to know when that is released?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't write the release dates.
I did want to point out that the new Entertainment Weekly came out with
check it out.
This is the fall movie preview. This is my favorite issue every
definitely.
Every thing. But,
it does have Star Wars on the cover.
But this is kind of what got me thinking about this top 3. I forgot to mention. But
so my bad on not getting the release date. I apologize about that. But Suburbicon is my number 3.
I could leaf through it here and find it for us, but I don't want to waste time on the podcast.
No, you got your number 3 to do.
Maybe you could. We'll get you the date later. My number 3 is actually a movie that's already been out in Canada, but I haven't seen it, and it hasn't been available in the U.S.
Why do they get it first?
Because it's Goon: The Last Living Fortress. It's the sequel to Goon.
Okay.
It's an ice hockey movie. That's why Canadians get it first.
I guess. All right. So it's a big blockbuster there probably in the summer, right?
Yeah. It was. It actually came out earlier this summer. Actually, earlier in the spring, I think. But yeah, I love the original Goon.
I love it too, yeah.
Sean William Scott's just hysterical in that film. And Jay Baruchel, who wrote the last movie, is actually directed the sequel.
Is this his first directing?
I think it's his first directing gig. So it'll be interesting to see how he does behind the camera. But, if you know me, you know I like hockey.
You do like a little bit of hockey.
I like the first one so much, I'm just eager to see where they go with it.
No, I didn't even realize it was coming in the fall. I did, because I did read that, and I noticed that it was coming in the fall, but it slipped my mind. I did like the original Goon. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to it, but it didn't make my top 3.
And that comes out September 1st.
Okay.
For those of you.
So it's very close.
Yeah, it's going to be soon. So.
Is it going to be limited, or is it going to be fairly wide?
I'm pretty sure it's going to be fairly limited. It might actually even be one of those, theatrical
day and date
on-demand titles. But it's still one I'm looking forward to.
Right.
For number 2, since you went first last time, I'm going to go first this time. Number 2 is Thor Ragnarok for me. For those of you that know me, I'm a Marvel fan over DC, and Thor has always kind of been the lower tier of the Marvel films, but this one looks incredibly fun.
Yeah.
And they've taken a totally different spin on it. It looks it's just vibrant colors in it. It's very Thor's in space.
I know,
he's battling the Hulk.
It's just almost playing in the same playground as Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, and and if it can capture part of what Guardians brings us, I'm all for it. And it's just the trailer just makes it look extremely fun.
And they've got an amazing cast. I mean, you talk about a Thor movie, it was just like Chris Hemsworth for a while, and a little bit of Sir Anthony Hopkins, and and Natalie Portman, and that was about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was low key.
Yeah.
Now you've got Kate Blanchett, you've got Jeff Goldblum, you've got the Hulk's going to be in it, right? And then Tessa Thompson, who's a rising star, and she's I can't wait to
and of course,
I can't wait to see it too.
Mr. Hiddleston is
sure,
is Loki again. Of course, you can't have a Thor movie without Loki.
Apparently not. But I mean, he's always fun too. So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, so I'm just really looking forward to that, as opposed to another superhero movie that everybody else is probably looking forward to, which I'm not looking forward to.
Really, because that brings me to my number 2.
I saw it peaked.
Oh, so you're trying to? Oh, I gotcha. My number 2 is Justice League.
Justice League.
And it wouldn't have been, honestly, if not for Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman was such a really, strong movie. Very, I will talk about it later, obviously. But Wonder Woman has raised my expectations a little bit for the DC universe. Now, I'm with you. I prefer Marvel for the most part, but I'm gonna give this one a chance. So it is an interesting movie that I'm looking forward to. It was this, or like my number 2 spot. I was like, I wanted it to be a bigger movie, so it was gonna be this or Blade Runner. But then Blade Runner's a little bit like I'm a little worried about. So that's why I went ahead and put this as my number 2.
I'm worried about Justice League personally. I mean, I agree. I liked Wonder Woman. I just don't think that they've cured all of DC's ills with one movie. It seems like they're going right back to Batman versus Superman from the trailer. There's some funny lines in the trailer, but I just wish they would lighten up a little bit.
Well, my suspicion is that they may have beefed up the Wonder Woman factor since, and I don't know this. I can't claim that this is really what they're doing, but if I was DC, I would figure out a way to make more Wonder Woman in Justice League.
Yeah, no, I mean... Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Wonder Woman is definitely the best DC movie that they've put out. So the more they can do like that, the better. Justice League comes out on November 17th, by the way, and Thor Ragnarok comes out on 11/3.
Okay. So. And the other reason is not necessarily that I think this is going to be the second best movie of the fall, but it will be interesting to see how they build if they can recover.
Yeah.
So that's why.
And like we say in every top 3, these are not necessarily the best movies. These are just the movies that we are looking forward to personally.
Exactly.
So, number 1. Do you want to give your number 1?
I'll give my number 1, and it's American Made.
American Made. Interesting. The only thing I've heard about American Made is I saw a poster in the theater, and I read a little article in this Entertainment Weekly. But talk to us a little bit.
Oh, you haven't seen the trailer yet?
I've not seen the trailer.
The trailer looks very interesting. It was called it was named
is that
for
the one that was filmed in Atlanta?
Yes, it was used to be called Mina, which is a town in Colombia. And the reason it's called that is because it tells the true story. This is a true character who used to run drugs for Escobar and guns for the Contras, and worked for the CIA, and it was involved with a lot of nefarious activity and good activity. So you get the good with the bad sometimes, especially in the 80s CIA. But so it looks, the trailer's really great. It was filmed here, so of course I'm a homer about it. We got some of our local fellas in it. E. Rogers actually in the trailer a good bit. I know that I think Rob Progel's in the movie, and and a lot of other local actors are in this film. I heard stories that it was a great set to be on. Doug Liman, who of course is a really good action director.
We worked with on Edge of Tomorrow, which is one of my favorite.
Exactly. So that's why it's probably something you'd be interested in, because I know you liked that film a lot.
Definitely. Well, you've definitely piqued my interest. I'll have to go check out the trailer. But yeah, so I'm now looking forward to that as well. Although Tom Cruise, did you hear he hurt himself on the set of Mission Impossible 6 or whatever?
Yeah,
they're on now. So
yeah, I did hear that.
I guess it's not going to affect that, but
no.
In my 6, but
it makes me.
Gotta be careful, Tom.
Yeah, be careful, Tom.
He does do his own stunts, but
you can afford a double, Tom.
Okay, so my number one is The Disaster Artist, which, if you don't know about this, is James Franco, who's directed this film. It is about the making of The Room. The Room. Which is notorious for being one of the worst movies ever.
Right.
Originally directed by Tommy Wiseau. And James Franco plays Tommy Wiseau, and his brother Dave Franco plays Greg Sinestro.
Sinestro, yeah.
Who was another actor in the film, and who wrote the book that this is based off of.
Oh, okay.
And so it's just about them making this movie, and the trailer that they showed looks hysterical. He's channeling Tommy Wiseau. If you haven't seen The Room,
and I haven't seen The Room actually,
you need to see The Room. You need to go, and you need to see it in a theater.
Okay.
You need to go to the Plaza. Plaza actually was running it this weekend, so you missed it. But they run it fairly often.
Okay.
And it's one of those classic cult movies where people show up, they dress up in the characters, they interact with some of the lines of dialogue that are said, and it's a movie that is so bad that it's good.
Okay.
And it is a bad movie.
Well,
it is really
I've seen clips, obviously. I've seen parodies of it. Yes. I've seen all of that, and I really wanted to see The Room, mm-hmm. and I know it plays sometimes at the Plaza, but I somehow never get to see it. Mm-hmm. So I definitely want to see it, but I do want to see The Disaster Artist
and it's gotten really good buzz behind it. It premiered at the South by Southwest, and people were raving about it. So I am very much looking forward to that, and that premieres on December 1st. So,
okay, cool.
Might be a limited market, but
no, I'm definitely looking forward to that one too. But it didn't make my top 3, but
I think if you haven't seen The Room, it probably wouldn't. Right. But if you're a fan of The Room, it's definitely something we're.
Have you seen it more than once, or you just seen it
I've
once?
only seen it once.
Okay.
But it is.
It's not on DVD or anything. But you say I should see it in the theater.
You need to see it in the theater. Okay. I don't think it's not widely available on DVD. If it is, it might be you might be able to find some bootleg copy on eBay or something like that. But
I wonder if they're going to run it on one of the cable. Like usually the premium cable.
No, it's funny because this was an independent film that this guy, and you have to respect him for what he did.
Absolutely,
he paid his own money to do this movie. Granted, not a great movie, but he premiered it in LA, made sure that it ran in the theater for 2 weeks so it would qualify for an Oscars run.
Nice.
But, it's very much his movie, and he owns it, and I think that's probably why it hasn't been a wider release.
Right,
and,
gotcha.
He kind of claims that it was always supposed to be so bad it's good.
Right.
Most people realize it's not, but
it's okay to embrace it when it comes out like that.
So I guess it's one of those things that you kind of have to watch in context. Mm-hmm. Like if you just saw it, maybe it might not be as appealingly bad as after having heard the buzz. I don't know, but I'm definitely looking forward to that. So to recap, my top 3 movies that I would like to see this year, besides Star Wars, are number 3, Goon, Last of the Enforcers, number 2, Thor Ragnarok, and number 1, Disaster Artist.
And my top 3, outside of Star Wars, Suburbicon, Justice League, and American Made.
Cool. You sold me on 2 of them.
Cool. That's
still
good.
Not so sure. I'll see Justice League anyway. It doesn't matter.
You can't not see it, right?
Yeah, no, you're not gonna see it. All right, so that brings us up to the big
movie review recap,
summer edition.
Okay.
So these are the movies that we missed in the past 3 months or so since we last started a podcast. Or like I said, our last podcast was in April, so. We're just going to go through them by box office. So we'll start at number 10 and go up.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
So number 10 was Girls Trip, which is currently at $97 million. I have not seen this movie, but I've heard good things about it.
Well, you know what? I just saw it, actually. I caught up to it. I heard tons of buzz about it. Everyone around saw it and said it was amazing. Will Packer produces it, so obviously, it's a well-done film. It's done well. It's about to, hit $100 million as well.
Yeah, it'll be past $100 million.
This is very much, a extension of the Hangover, Bad Moms universe, just with African American leads, you know, and you know, very, very talented actresses, you know, in the film. One of the most underrated is probably Regina Hall, who plays the lead. She's excellent in it. Jada Pinkett, who I sometimes don't really like in a lot of movies. She's really good in this movie. And Queen Latifah is always solid. And then Tiffany Haddish.
Yes.
She steals the movie from everybody. She's sort of the breakout a la Hangovers guy. Zach Galifianakis. She's, you know, very much that sort of scene stealer in this film. And so, yeah, it's you know, it's a funny movie. It's a funny movie. So if you like that kind of comedy, raunchy and raucous, I'd recommend it.
I find it interesting that all the buzz coming into the summer was about this type of film was Rough Night,
right?
Which we actually
did review.
And not this one. And it turns out that this one was way more successful than Rough Night.
Well, I think you know, Will Packer, and they just did an article on him about this, is that Will Packer knows what his audience wants, right? And he's got a very, you know, very specific, yet it's very broad audience that he knows exactly how to reach. And the Rough Night, you know, I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, we didn't think it was that great either. But and you know, this movie's probably a little better, but not that much better. Yeah. But it hit the right notes with its audience. Yeah.
Okay, well, number 9 is a movie that we already talked about, Baby Driver, which has reached the 100 million mark.
Yeah.
So I love this movie. I might be giving it a little away that this is my favorite movie of the summer. It might be my favorite movie of the year so far. But I love Edgar Wright.
Yeah,
I've always loved his work. I talked a lot. I did 4 good things about this one. I encourage you to go out and look at it. I won't go too much into detail, but one of the big things I loved about it was that it is Atlanta.
Sure,
it's like almost like a love letter to Atlanta.
Right.
And then you had all the great performances to it, and then you had Edgar Wright's just awesome direction. You had a great soundtrack.
Right.
You had this. You had just like one thing on top of the other, and it's just a great movie.
Right. Well, I mean, I agree. The soundtrack is fantastic too. You know, and all the performances are really good, especially like Lily Collins and Ansel Elgort. He's
sounds
really
like like some sort of medicine, like Xeljanz or
right. Ricola. No, but
if you have an erection lasting more than 4 hours, please stop Ansel Elgort.
Exactly. Stop
your doctor.
Stop Ansel Elgort. And call your doctor. But no, he's a winning young leading man, and so you know, I think
he surprised me in this movie. Like, I wasn't expecting a lot from him because the other cast members were so big names. You got Jamie Foxx, you've got John Hamm, you've got Kevin Spacey, you've got John Bernthal. You've got Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it, Flea. But no, it's. I mean, I'll gush a little less just to save time, but I agree with you. It's a great movie. Edgar Wright's a great filmmaker. I've said that for a long time. I've been pointing out that he's one of the best action directors out there, and yet nobody associates him with action, except they will now.
The fight scenes in World's End.
That's the best. It's the best. It's ridiculously good.
Ever out there.
Absolutely.
But yeah, go see Baby Driver. It should be coming. It's also coming out on DVD and on demand pretty soon. But I would recommend seeing it in the theater if you can. Number 8. I don't know how this got up here. Transformers: The Last Night. 129 million.
You don't know how it got up there? I mean, it's a Transformers movie. Come on. I mean, it's a Transformers movie. It's bad.
Since we're not doing 4 good things, I'm just
going to say
it's awful. It's awful.
Yes, it is, and yet some of it is fascinating to look at. I mean, you still have to admit that part.
Well, I mean, but you don't know what's going on.
I agree.
You don't know what you're looking at.
I agree, but
this is the worst movie by far of the summer, and I've seen the Emoji Movie, so it is bad.
It's really awful in certain parts. It's the worst
of the Transformers movies too. I have now seen them all.
I feel bad. I feel bad for Mark Wahlberg because Mark Wahlberg hasn't looked this bad in a long time.
This is The Happening.
Oh yeah, exactly. This is almost as bad as The Happening for him. You know what I mean? And
this would be a good face-off. Which is worse, The Happening or Transformers: The Last Night?
Right, because I mean, Mark Wahlberg has such a sort of like a pleasant demeanor. Yeah. You know what I mean? He feels like a good guy.
Hey, how's your mama doing?
Yeah. Hey, how's your mother? How's your mother? How's your mother? But no, I mean, he just he's winning in AT&T commercials, right?
Yeah.
But he can't win in this movie because it's terrible.
It's bad. All right, enough said about that. Number 7 is War for the Planet of the Apes, coming in at 137 million. Unfortunately, I haven't seen this movie yet. Okay. I want to see it. I like this revamped trilogy.
Right. When I first saw the movie, I liked it a lot. I don't know if I like it as much. It's like, the first viewing, it was like, oh, this is a great movie, blah, blah, blah. But the more you reflect on it, it's not maybe as good, certainly as the original reboot, and maybe not even as good as the second one, So it's a good enough movie. What the one thing I really liked, because I'm a huge Steve Zahn fan, is Steve Zahn plays one of the characters, and he's fantastic in it. And obviously Andy Serkis is great, and and
I want to know how was Woody Harrelson in that movie?
He was regular Woody. I mean, he was not outstanding. I mean, he was just sort of, nothing. He didn't do anything wrong. He just said his lines. You know what I mean? He certainly wasn't anywhere near like how he was in True Detectives, I guess. Was it? Or was it? Yeah. No, I mean, because he was fantastic in that. Yeah. But not this is he's fine. Yeah. He's fine.
All right, number 6, Cars 3 at 148 million.
This is one I didn't see.
I did see this one, and I've also done a 4 Good Things For It, so if you want to watch it, you can. Keep plugging that. It's not that bad. It was better than Cars 2.
Okay,
I'll
good,
put it that way.
Good.
There's not a lot of Mater in it, which probably helps a little. Mater in Cars 1 was not bad.
Right.
Mater in Cars 2 was awful.
Right.
And he's not in this one, but it also lacks a certain... There's no buddy movie part of this now. And so it does... I think, if anything, there might be too little of Mater in this one. Although you have to take that with a grain of salt, because I find the character of Mater can get annoying pretty quickly.
Sure.
But yeah, it's a good kids movie. It's a better story than Cars 2, but it's not as exciting. So I think kids might actually like Cars 2 better.
Right.
So it's kind of one of these weird movies.
And do you think
is it for kids?
Do you think kids miss Mater too? Maybe.
Probably. I know my kid did not appreciate. He liked the Emoji Movie better than Cars.
Wow. Okay.
He liked Captain Underpants better than Cars. You know what I mean? Like Cars should have been the big hit, and it's just there's good things about it. It's not nothing memorable.
Right.
Number 5 is Dunkirk at 154 million. Did you see this?
Yes.
I did too. I saw it on IMAX 70 millimeter. Did you see it on IMAX 70?
I didn't. I did see it on IMAX. So yes, I did.
What did you think?
It's really hard to say. I liked it. I appreciated it more so than liked it. You know what I mean? I appreciated the movie more so than I liked the movie. It's super well made.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I do like what he was doing. Messing around a little bit with timelines and things like that. Again, impressive. Did I like it? Yeah, I did, but not like as much as I respected it.
I liked it a lot. In fact, I would say it's number 2, very close to Baby Driver. And some of the reasons you mentioned, Christopher Nolan does like to play with time, and he does it again with this. Basically, he's telling 3 different stories, but they all take place. They take place simultaneously, and they meet up at the end, but they tell them in different timelines.
Right.
So when they're on the beach, it's a week long. And when they're in the sea, it's like a day long. And when he's in the air, it's an hour long.
Right.
They flash back and forth between all 3 of them. And I heard some people think that was confusing. They basically tell you right up front what's going on. It's not like it's a mystery or anything. I thought it was a cool way to tell the story. And I loved, it was such a tense movie that you're on the edge of your seat the whole time. And it's just like this ticking time bomb waiting to go off. And in fact, the score actually has that ticking, clock
definitely.
in it. It's just like in
Definitely.
the background of the score, and it's like.
And I really,
And that added so much. I don't know. I loved it. And especially seeing it on the big screen. I don't think it would be as good if I waited until I saw it on demand.
Well, and then there's two people who I respect and talk about movies a lot with. One of them thinks it's one of the best movies ever. That's Laron, who's a director in his own right, and he's admittedly a fan of Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
And then Jamie Wingler, who didn't like it at all, but he didn't like it because of the actual story.
Yeah.
Because it's not, big deal. They got off the beach.
I mean, I will say in his defense is there's not much story to it.
Exactly.
It's basically retelling of an event.
Right.
It's not.
Yeah.
There's
So
not like a main character in it. You know what I mean? It's
right.
Like,
And so I'm
it
not.
doesn't have the typical narrative.
I'm not on either of those extremes. I do like the movie.
Yeah.
So, but it's super impressive. So I have to respect it a lot.
We can talk about this for a while, but we have to move on.
Sure.
Number 4 is Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Men Tell No Tales, at 171 million. This is a movie that I didn't see. I don't know who did see it.
I saw it, but I honestly couldn't really tell you what happened.
Yeah,
in it.
how did it make so much money? Like, this is like the biggest blockbuster that nobody's seen. Like, I mean,
I think everybody went to see it just out of habit. Do you know what I mean? I mean, honestly, it's.
new Pirates of the Caribbean out. I guess I gotta go.
I guess I gotta go. I mean, it. I remember very, very small bits of this movie,
Yeah.
but it's one of those movies that exists.
I just forgot it even came out.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't see it, of course, but.
And if you didn't go the 2 weeks, you would have forgotten because other things would have been happening.
Everything,
yeah.
It's just like it just got lost.
And it's not memorable. It's not memorable either. I mean, it is pirates, so it's pirates. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, no.
Number 3 is Despicable Me 3 at 248 million. I saw this one. I liked it. I mean, it was good. It's not one of those.
No, I thought it was fine.
It's like Cars 3. It's there.
it's way better than the Minions by themselves. So.
Well, and then this kind of mirrors kind of Cars in the fact that everybody goes to Despicable Me movies to see the Minions, but the Minions weren't really hardly in this.
Right.
Their subplot's very tangential to the entire story.
Absolutely, that's true.
And I felt like it could have used a little bit more Minions, whereas I didn't like the Minions on their own in their own movie.
I didn't either. Yeah.
And I think my son definitely would have liked to have seen more Minions. He
Sure.
kind of got bored with the Gru part of the tale.
Yeah, I think they needed more Minions, but maybe they were gun shy. I don't know. I mean, because the Minions movie did fine, right?
Yeah,
so I don't know what they were worried about. But I mean, I appreciate less than that, but a little more than this.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think maybe because they're trying to spin Minions off in their own thing,
Sure,
so they didn't want to
probably.
dilute the Despicable Me franchise.
could be.
Anyway, number 2 is Spider-Man: Homecoming at 307 million. This is another one of my favorite movies of the summer. If I was to name another top 3, it would be Baby Driver, Dunkirk, Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Or not Spider-Man: Homecoming. I love this reboot of Spider-Man. I thought Tom Holland was great.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
Michael Keaton as the Vulture's great.
Yes.
He's the most realistic villain Marvel's had in any of their movies.
I heard. I mean, someone just told me the other day he's the best villain that's been in any of these movies.
That's true. I think that's true. I mean, besides maybe Loki,
Right.
none of Marvel's villains have ever really stood out.
Right.
And
I liked the I've said it before. I'll say it again. I've been saying this for years. Universal casting is where it's at. This is a universal cast. It was really, really cool to see. Plus I like the kid a lot. Tony Revolori.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
He's plays Flash Thompson.
Yeah, he's an awesome actor.
The thing I would never have thought is that the lobby boy from
Yeah,
Budapest Hotel
exactly.
playing Flash Thompson.
Exactly.
It's so against type, but it works.
It works because that's the new thing. Like I'm stealing this from Eddie now, but he's saying bullies aren't what they used to be.
Yeah.
He's a bully still.
Yeah.
But yet he doesn't look like
he
could be that.
And they also set this in this movie. Peter Parker's in this arts and science, more of a science school.
Right.
So your bully's going to be a little bit of a nerd himself.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I think it worked well, and I like you said, I love the the colorblind casting and everything like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, we're on the heels, finishing a film. We're finishing a film, you know, about the nature of beauty, and this, you know, and one of the important things that I wanted us to have in it was like women of color as the objects of affection, right? Mm-hmm. And here we got Spider-Man with two sort of women of color in the lead, you know, for like our hero Spider-Man. So I thought that was really great.
Since we're running low on time, we'll move on to Wonder Woman is number one at $402 million, and we've talked a little bit about Wonder Woman.
Sure.
Like I said, it's my favorite of the DC movies.
Absolutely.
I think DC needs to do more like Wonder Woman. I think part of the Wonder Woman's success is that it didn't take itself too seriously, too grim dark.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And it felt more fun.
Absolutely. No, it was well done. You know, performances were great. The direction was great. This is one of my favorite movies of the summer, and I haven't ranked them, you know, myself in my mind yet, but this is certainly one of my favorites of the summer.
It didn't get that high for me. I enjoyed it, but you know, part of me could be my Marvel bias over DC.
Could be.
I still thought there were flaws with the movie that I don't see in Marvel movies. Mm-hmm. But then again, you know, it was. I thought the third act kind of bogged the movie down a little bit.
You know, it did a little. It did a little.
Took away from the fun of it.
It did a little. I'll give you that part. But otherwise, up until that point, you know, it was hitting along really well. You know, Gal Gadot. Is it how you?
I say Godot, but I don't know if that's correct.
I think that's French pronunciation. I think it's Gadot. So
she's Israeli, right?
Yes.
So who knows how they?
But she's fantastic in the film. Chris Pine is really good in the movie. So did you see the other one that was Hell or High Water yet?
I've not seen Hell or High Water.
You should see that.
I do want to see that.
Yeah, but no, it was
Chris
a
Pine.
fantastic
movie.
He's
a good actor. He's shown that he's more than just Captain Kirk, and I think
I'm happy about the fact that it's a female superhero that may save DC's universe. So that's really cool.
Yeah, no, it's about time that there was a female, you know, lead superhero. It's just a good thing to have the diversity.
No, absolutely,
you know?
yeah. So
you'd say the same thing over and over again.
So it's hard not to really like that movie.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like it for what. As a film, like it's good. It's just it's not my favorite, but I do appreciate the fact that it breaks through some
barriers,
glass
right?
ceilings.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, so that's our recap. So some
absolutely.
stuff that was not on this list. It's kind of funny. The Mummy, which I really thought was going to be huge.
Yeah.
Which I never got to see. I actually bought a ticket for it, but I ended up going to see the last Transformers last night instead because there was trouble with the projection.
Well,
I should
you probably still should have seen the Mummy.
I got a free ticket out of it, so at least I got that. But, Alien Covenant didn't make the list.
Right.
That was kind of a disappointment. The Emoji Movie
was that expected to make the list?
I don't know. Baywatch kind of flopped for The Rock.
Wow, that was
really uneven movie. I don't know. If you saw
absolutely.
Baywatch or not,
Yeah, I did too. I saw it.
So you know, I mentioned my favorites of the summer. Did you have was there a favorite that you had, or is there something that you saw that wasn't in the top 10 that you liked?
Let me think.
I know, like The Big Sick came out. I didn't see.
I love The Big Sick. Yeah, I did like The Big Sick a lot. Yeah. So I don't know if would rank among like Baby Driver or anything like that, but it was really really cool movie. So
I didn't see very many indie films over the summer.
Yeah, I didn't get to see too many either. But The Big Sick does stand out. It was a nice movie.
Well, all right. We're running low on time, so it's a good
thing
that we eliminated that technique topic.
Yeah,
at the beginning.
we never got to it.
We never got to it. So let's wrap things up with a movie game.
All right.
So, for those of you that don't know what a movie game is, and there might be a few of you since we've been off for a while, basically a movie game is a movie chain. So if I name a movie like Wonder Woman, then Martin would have to name an actor that was in Wonder Woman, like
would I have to pronounce it?
And then I would have to name a movie that Gal Gadot or Godot is in, and I would say like Keeping Up with the Joneses, and then Martin would say
Zach Galifianakis,
and it goes on and so on and so forth until one of us can't get it.
Right.
And then we play 3 rounds. When there's only 2 of us, we play 3 rounds and the best 2 out of 3.
Right.
And then there's the only other real rule is that you can't go back to a movie in the same chain. So
right, in the same chain.
If I said Star Trek and then you said Chris Pine and then later it got back, so nobody couldn't say Star Trek again.
Right.
In that chain.
But
you could say Star Trek too.
Yeah, sequels are fair game, I guess.
Yeah, or whatever. Into Darkness. Or whatever.
Yeah. All right. So we're flat. We're even.
So yeah, we're starting. We have no champion.
No champ at the moment.
Since you went first on your top 3, I'll go first on the movie game.
Sounds good.
I'm going to say let's go with Baby Driver. Gives us some options.
John Hamm.
Keeping Up with the Joneses.
Isla Fisher.
Wedding Crashers.
Owen Wilson.
Cars 3.
Oh wow. Larry the Cable Guy.
I mean, he's in it. Cars. I can't really name other Larry Cable Guy movies.
Paul Newman.
Oh, this is going to get me into trouble. Paul Newman. The Color of Money.
Tom Cruise.
Let's go with Night and Day.
Okay, Cameron Diaz.
There's Something About Mary.
Ben Stiller.
Oh. There's a movie I could get you with, but I don't remember the name of it. I can't remember the name of that one. So I'm going to say Mystery Men.
Mystery Man. Let me think. Janine Garofalo.
The Truth About Cats and Dogs.
Uma Thurman.
Kill Bill Volume 1.
Lucy Liu.
Charlie's Angels.
Drew Barrymore.
Jeez. 50 First Dates.
Sean Astin.
Whitewater Summer.
Kevin Bacon.
Yes. The River Wild, which is the other Kevin Bacon Whitewater movie.
Meryl Streep.
Yes. Death Becomes Her.
Bruce Willis.
Oh, jeez, we're getting there. This is a long chain. Bruce Willis. Let's go with Cop Out.
Sean William Scott.
Goon.
Oh, man. Okay, Liev Schreiber.
X-Men Origins.
Ryan Reynolds.
Deadpool.
Oh, okay. Marina Baccarin.
Serenity.
Adam Baldwin.
Ooh, Adam Baldwin. Ooh, you might have got me there. Is he in X-Files?
I don't think he is.
Hold, please. No, he's in them. He's not in the movie. He's in the show, but not the movie.
Cool.
I can't really think of something else that he would have been in. What do you?
He's actually in Independence Day.
Ah.
Remember, he's in the Area 51.
He's in Full Metal Jacket too, apparently.
Yeah, he's in that too.
Huh.
Way back. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, you've got one.
Got one.
That was a good one. That was a long one. So since you won, I should go.
My turn?
Yeah, your turn.
All right. Let me think. Ving Rhames.
We were just talking about Ving Rhames in this movie that has David Caruso in it. I can't remember the name. Kiss of Death.
Kiss
But I
of
already
Death.
told you David Caruso's in it. So you can
And Nicolas Cage.
And Nicolas Cage. You said Nicolas Cage. Is
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage the one? Okay. I'm going to go with USS Indianapolis, Men of Courage.
Oh, wow. Okay, nice one. I could stump you now, so I won't. I won't do that. Tom Sizemore.
Tom Sizemore.
Because I could have said one that you couldn't have gotten, I could have gotten.
Okay. Strange Days.
Ooh, nice. Strange Days, Juliette Lewis.
Natural Born Killers.
Woody Harrelson.
I'm not going to say the one that I said the other day. Let's see, what Now I'm drawing a blank. Woody. That's the only thing I can think of now. Wilson. That's the only thing I can think of for some reason. I can't think of anything
Laura
else.
Dern.
Is she in it?
I think so, yes.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park, Samuel L. Jackson.
Snakes on a plane, motherfucker.
Oh my gosh. All right, challenge.
Shit. Damn it. I was hoping you wouldn't challenge me. Snakes on a plane. Kadeem Hardison.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
Let's go.
That would be interesting. That would be interesting. I was hoping you would say, when you said Woody Harrelson, I was hoping you would say Wildcats.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. Juliana Margulies was in Snakes on a Plane, by the way. I didn't know that. Kenan Thompson, who I almost thought about. He did enter my head. No, he's definitely not in there. So.
Yes.
Kadeem Hardison is not part of the Snakes on a Plane.
No.
So, you are the champ.
All right, cool. We've established a new champ. All right. Sounds good. But, hey, thanks for listening, people.
Yeah, thank you.
We appreciate it.
Thank you for enduring another Michael D. Friedman loss in the movie game.
And remember, we want to hear from you. We want you to share this podcast.
Share it.
We want to hear from you, your opinions.
Retweet if you see this
Absolutely.
on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Please share it. It just helps us build an audience and it helps us talk to a wider audience about your films.
Absolutely. And then thanks again to Eureka Failure for the music, as always.
As always, they're kind of the CinemATL house band.
Right.
They probably wouldn't want to be called that, but
One of these days they might.
we should have a live performance. Something like that.
No, that would be good. Yeah.
But yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We're glad to be back, and we'll see you next month on the CinemATL podcast.